And while some across the country breathed a sigh of relief following the verdict, others are focused on where we go from here. Joining us now to discuss this and the impact of the verdict is Alford Young Jr., professor of sociology and African American and African Studies at the University of Michigan. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me. Good morning.
All right, let's jump right into the impact of this verdict. Do you think that this verdict will affect relations between police and the communities they serve?
Well, I certainly hope it will. In some sense, it will affect relations because everybody is aware that a pivotal moment occurred. Police officers are taking account of this. The public is taking account of this. For the first time in our history, we can acknowledge that an officer has been found guilty of violating a black body. And so that will already change how police respond to the public, how the public responds to the police. What I hope that people keep in mind, and certainly many African Americans have, many Americans, is that this is in many ways a beginning. It may bring closure to the Floyd family in some ways. For the rest of us, it's an opening. It's an opening of possibility to think about how to build healthy relationships. And so the work is just beginning for the rest of us.
And so where do we go from here? President Biden called the Chauvin verdict a step forward for racial justice. What are the next steps for both the community and for society as a whole?
Conversations, community level conversations. I think it's important for police departments across America to engage the public about the fact that a wrongdoing occurred, about the fact that there's been suspicion and concern across the country. As we all know, the George Floyd case is not the only one. It may be the one that was resolved in the way in which many African Americans wanted, but this is a pattern of occurrences across the country. And it's time to have conversations where police can be honest with the public about what kinds of things have occurred, what kinds of tensions exist, but also be honest about the work that they're supposed to do. Protect and serve is still a value, even for African Americans. And we acknowledge that and envision that, but we want to see police acknowledge that they're imperfect. Some are unjust. And opening up that conversation is a critical first step. And I mean, in communities, in neighborhoods, those kind of conversations have to unfold.
And that conversation will continue. And we hope as we continue that conversation here on 7 Action News that you'll be a part of that conversation with us. Professor Young, thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thank you for having me.